red pill, blue pill. Some pills are harder to swallow than others, so they can have many different colors, and like some of them, like this one, can be big and hard to swallow. So I spoke about in the last video that we are fighting the local municipal. So we sued them for around 900 euros, and then we got a small victory in that they had to give us some papers. So there was what do you call it, conviction. So now they have to give us some secret papers that they didn't want to give us before. So a judge has decided that. I just need to check my watch. So I got a new booking, so that's cool. So that's so the judge says that they have to give us these secret papers. So I was like reading what is happening, what is going on. And the thing is that when they were like, so condemnations, that means like you can't be inside the property. So with this case, there were like some dates that was like, it wasn't clear, right? So the dates were wrong. And then I was a little bit confused because they say like they made no mistakes. And I was like, why are the dates wrong? And why are like some papers missing if they made no mistakes? So what I did is that I asked to get all the papers, all the files on the case. So they provided that, but there was no answer to this question. So I complained to them and said like, I need these papers that are missing, and they didn't want to give it to me. So I complained, and then they have to send it to like a judge thing that looks at it. And then they were looking at it, and then they found this secret, like a paper where they were discussing why these dates and papers were missing. And then what happened is that now they ordered the municipal to give me this piece of paper. So that's what I just found out. So we will see. So by law, they need to give me this secret piece of paper within the next 7 days. So if they follow the law, usually they don't, but if they follow the law, then they would give me this piece of paper within 7 days. But yeah, in the past they haven't. So that is going to be interesting. So remember to subscribe to the channel. What do you think the secret papers will say, and why do you think they would not give them to me? You can write it in the comments below. So one of I'm inside the property that is condemned. So the thing was that we had a cloudburst where there was like a lot of water, and then it came into the basement, and then the tenant said, Palle, you need to pay me like more than 4,000 euros. And I said, no, I'm not going to pay you 4,000 euros. And then she complained to the municipal and said, there's water in the basement, right? But it's kind of like her fault. It's not my fault. But they didn't care. And then they condemned the property, and then I was fighting them. So it was condemned for around 8 months. That's what we're fighting about there. Anyways, on my other properties, then one of them we just found a new tenant for, so we're going to rent it out for, I think, around 700 euros. So that's cool. So we got a long-term tenant that's going to move in October. Then we have another property that we used for Airbnb booking.com. So it's been generating around like 12,000 euros July, which was last month, which is pretty cool. But now we're going to rent it out long term. So long term, it's going to be around, I think, 1,800 euros per month instead. So significantly less than the other one, but it's still cool because that's kind of what we want. We want to use the short-term rentals as leverage to create the money to make long-term rentals. We're actually making a course about that. That's going to come soon. So if you want to learn more about that. The thing is that then I made a mistake. So like I know on YouTube you never admit that you made mistakes, but I made a mistake. So the thing was that they wanted to rent it from the 1st of September, but then all of a sudden they wanted to get the house 2 weeks before, and then because I was using it as a short-term rental, then I couldn't just move everybody who booked it out of the house. So they were allowed to stay in the house for 6 days, and then they needed to go to another place for a week, and then they could go back to the house. But then there was like some communication problems, because like some of them are like from Vietnam, and then we have some from Denmark, and then we have, my wife is Chinese, and then yeah, so that was like a big communication mess. So when I arrived yesterday and I had to prepare it for guests coming later the same day, then all their stuff was inside the house. Then when we contacted them, they were like several 100 kilometers away, and they were not going to come back till Sunday. So I was like, fuck, that's not good, right? Because if there's one thing I hate as a landlord, and like in general, is touching other people's stuff. I do not want to touch other people's stuff, right? Because you can only get into trouble if you touch other people's stuff. So don't touch other people's stuff, right? So I hate that. But here in this case, I had to not only touch their stuff, but pack all their stuff down, put it in my car, drive it to the other place, and put it inside, right? I hate that. You can only get into to problems that way. So we need to try to avoid that. But that happens. But you just need to be aware with the communication. Be sure every time you... So it's the same thing when I was sailing like as a trainee for marine engineering for Maersk. When you talk to the Filipinos, they will always say yes, but you have to get them to repeat back to you, so you make sure that they actually understand. It doesn't matter, like the Danish people do that too, but you have to make sure they understand the messages. We get into problems. But then I had to move their stuff, right? I did get the other stuff out, but it's just bad. Anyways, in the next video, we'll see maybe if I got the answer from the municipal, what's inside the secret email. There's a playlist up here to all the videos in this series if you want to see it. Else, if you like the video, give it a like. If you don't like it, give it a dislike. If you have any comments, share them below. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.